Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to Happy Crappy Recap. This is the recap for my Happy Crappy Hour today, our live stream. And I wanted to give you a shorter version for those who don't have 50 minutes or an hour to listen to the full version, but I want you to get the wisdom and the help. So today we're talking about not don't believe the narcissist propaganda. Today's topic is about propaganda because propaganda is something that's been around for a long time. It is not something new at all. And I want to tell you that about propaganda and what it looks like because the narcissist has learned how to use this in their personal life. So I'm going to take you back to when I was a young, when I was in high school actually, and I was taking a civics class or a social studies class, and we were reading the newspapers, and we had to write a paragraph about what the article was talking about. Well, back then, I used to think that newspapers wouldn't possibly lie to you because they're the news. They're supposed to tell you the truth, right? So we are raised in a society to believe those in authority. We're raised in a society that trusts our officials and the public, or even people that we know who are in important positions, right? So we trust them. So what happened was I never thought it could be possible that a newspaper could lie to you, or a news station, or a news reporter, right? So then fast forward a few years after that, and I'm working as a young person in my 20s, and I'm flying to business meetings in different cities. And when I fly, I would pick up newspapers. I usually would pick up two or three, but this particular day I picked up four or five because I wanted to know what was going on in a country in the Middle East, which was under immense turmoil. So I thought, well, I want to get five different perspectives of what's going on. I thought that each newspaper would send its own investigative reporter into the situation, and they would come back, or while they're there, report on what was going on. What I found out, and these are the newspapers I picked up. I picked up USA Today, Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and there was a fifth one. I still don't remember which one it was. It might have been a local one from whichever airport I was flying out of. So that time, I started looking for the headlines for this one situation that was going on in the Middle East. And of course, it was front page news on each of these newspapers, somewhere on the front page. When I started reading each of these newspapers, that's when it occurred to me, or when I realized that all the stories from every single newspaper was the exact same story, exact same writing, exact same reporter, exact same source. They all came from either the Associated Press or Reuters. I can't remember how to say that word, but Reuters. That's it. So what I came to realize is I'm getting five different sources, I thought, but they all had the exact same story. The only difference between the five papers was some of them would cut out a phrase or a few words or a sentence here and there from the article so that it would fit in their column. Otherwise, all the other words were exactly the same. Each paragraph was exactly the same. That was insane to me. I mean, and I was in my young, low 20s, early 20s, and it didn't occur to me to question at that point yet. It didn't occur to me to question that this doesn't make any sense. Why would there be all these different newspapers owned supposedly by different people, right? By different organizations sharing the exact same story, exact same perspective. So, of course, I never got to see what was really going on in the Middle East then. I'm letting you know that this is propaganda. This is how propaganda or lies get spread. When you're given one perspective, but then led to believe you're getting multiple perspectives. You're led to believe that all these different people are seeing from different perspectives the same thing. And that's not true. All they're doing is sharing one perspective over and over again. So you've heard the adage: a lie told multiple times becomes the truth. That's what happens to that's what happens to us when we are inundated with lies. but it's being shared from different sources. And how this applies to the narcissist is when you are going to check on their story and you're asking their flying monkeys or their fan club, you're going to get the same story because they got the same story. They have the same source. They have the narcissist. That's their source. And so the narcissist tells them what happened in a certain situation. And then they trust the narcissist because the narcissist is someone maybe an authority in their life or has been there and has been there for a long time and so has earned this long term friendship status. So they're going to trust the narcissist's word on things. So when you go to their fan club or their long-term friends, their flying monkeys, you're going to find the same story. Now, a red flag for you to notice if it's the exact same story from the narcissist is they'll use the same wording. So when they use the same wording to describe the situation, that's when you know they're not giving you a different perspective. They're just giving you the narcissist perspective. So that is one way the narcissist uses propaganda. Another way is through, and I want to share this, like through statistics. I took a statistics and marketing classes actually when I was in college, and those really opened my eyes to how numbers and marketing can completely deceive you. So you know that old, 4 out of 5 dentists support this or recommend this product. Well, who's to say that those 4 dentists they asked out of the 5 were not on the payroll? Like that 4 dentists are being paid to use this product or to push this product onto their patients. And so their patients, when they buy this product, the dentists get a kickback, or the dentists simply just get a kickback, period. And so when they're being questioned or polled for this 4 out of 5 dentist business, you're not aware that these people don't really care about the product, but they'll say, sure, I endorse it. Same thing with movie stars and basketball stars and all that. They get paid to endorse products, right? So the marketing company picks someone of authority or of respect or adoration from the public. And so if the public adores this person and this person is telling them, trust me, get this product, that's how marketing works. It doesn't matter if the star is or the celebrity is actually telling you the truth. They can even say, I use this product myself. And sure, maybe they do a bit, but maybe they don't use it all the time. Maybe they've used it once. You don't know. It's really awful. So be very careful when narcissists use marketing ploys on you. So what they'll do is they'll get a couple of friends that believe them, that trust them, the flying monkeys, the fan club, and then they'll get their fan club to attest how amazing the narcissist is and how fun the narcissist is and how lucky you are to have landed the narcissist. They're propagating the lie because they get something out of the narcissist. They probably are living with the narcissist or from payments from the narcissist. The narcissist may be paying their rent for all you know. The narcissist probably did a favor for them. They may be long-term friends and they just feel obligated to put in a good word for the narcissist. So, and it also works where they could see that you might be a good thing for the narcissist and they're hoping that you'll stick around and help the narcissist get better. So they're going to promote the narcissist like a product. So be careful of that. That is part of the propaganda. Now, when it comes to numbers, I also want to share with you, the 4 out of 5 dentists. So you talk to 5 or 4 of their friends and family, and the 4 or 5 family members say the same thing. You're going to get that feeling that 4 out of 5 people recommend this narcissist. Well, who's to say, and especially when they have a relationship with a narcissist, who's to say the narcissist is not influencing them in some way to lie for them? And I've had this happen to me actually with friends who recommend other friends to do work on my home or for me. They'll say, oh yeah, you should use so and so. They're really good. They're very handy. They know how to do this or that. They did my own tile work or something at my house. They did my floors. They painted this. And I think, oh, that looks pretty good. And then I hire them. And then it turns out I have to go look back because I have a hard time really actually hating people. But I know it's like I got taken, they cheated me out of a lot of money and they took a long time and they got paid by the hour because we thought we could trust them for working hard because we're paying them by the hour. Never ever hire friends, by the way, by the hour. Pay them by the project. So after this occurred, I went back to my old friends and I was like, why did you recommend this person? This was terrible. This cost us far more than we expected. And it wasn't until then that that person told us, oh, yeah, you have to you have to check up on them, you have to watch them, and you have to have them commit to a certain price. You cannot hire them by the hour. I'm like, this is a friend of yours that you've known for a decade and that I've known for 4 or 5 years. And you told me they do great work and that I should hire them and I would love it and blah, 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 right? Turns out, apparently, there were some caveats that they did not tell me about. So be careful when you're listening to those who are promoting someone. It doesn't necessarily mean they're telling you the absolute or the entire truth. They could just give you partial truth, and then you kind of fill in the rest and assume that they're giving you good advice. So you guys, I just wanted to share that with you. Oh, one more thing before I go, and I'll keep it short. Another way that narcissist and propaganda has been used on the public for a long time is numbers, statistics. I'd learned a long time ago through statistics that they can fool you with numbers. Like, for instance, say a small town has one murder, right? And 1 year. And then the next year they had two murders because the second year what happened was there was a lover's quarrel or someone was cheating on the other one, and the spouse ends up murdering the person they're cheating with and their own spouse. So there's your double murder. Well, it went from one to two. That's double, you guys, right? One to two, double. So they could say, oh, the murder rate has doubled. And you're thinking, wow, how many murders were there? There could have been, if there were 100 murders, that means there are 200 murders now. If there were 250 murders last year, now there are 500 murders. Oh my gosh, it doubled. That's a lot. Or they could say it increased by 100%, you guys, 100%. Say, okay, there were 3 murders 1 year, and then the next year there were 4 murders. Or actually, okay, it went up by 33%, right? A third of 3 is 1. So add 1 more to that 3, now it's 4. So now they could say, oh, last year, instead of giving you the real numbers, instead of saying murders went from 3 to 4, which then doesn't make you freak out, right? You're like, oh, well, that's just 1 more, and that could have been just, who knows, some fluke. Like a vagabond going through town and, just robbing somebody's house they didn't know was still there. And it was an accidental murder. So they're like, well, they're not going to tell you, those who want you to panic and think there's something majorly wrong and want you to fear and be afraid, they're not going to tell you it was from 3 to 4. Because it sounds more dramatic to tell you it was a 33% increase, right? So from 3 to 4 instances. So that's how propaganda is used on the public. But the narcissist will also use that because you'll look at them and you think, oh, they have 4 friends. And you think that these 4 friends telling you things kind of multiply the lie by 4. And you're thinking that, if all these people trust the narcissist, if all these people like the narcissist, then they must be okay. Meanwhile, you're really only looking at the fan club. You're not getting the real numbers. You're unaware that it's not just 4, but there are about 20 people who cannot stand the narcissist. 20 that have been used by the narcissist. 20 that had been cheated or lied to by the narcissist. So don't trust the numbers. Go and do your own investigation. Go and find out for yourself. Pay attention. Take notes. So when stories come back to you and you hear discrepancies, go back and check your notes on when you had a conversation with that flying monkey or that fan club member and see if they are being consistent. Well, you guys, that is the recap of the Happy Crappy Hour today. If you want to hear more detail and more instances and more examples and more advice on how to avoid this and how to stand your ground, watch the full hour. I will be posting it in the description where the link is. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and if you would, watch a commercial once in a while. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next week. Wally, this is why I don't have you